Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, where Alabama is an 8-point favorite over Ohio State. I look at Alabama and I break it down, and this team is almost perfect for Nick Saban, particularly the way that they played. If you look at them offensively, you've got their quarterback that was a Heisman Trophy finalist in Mac Jones. Najee Harris finished 5th in the Heisman balloting, but Devontae Smith won the Heisman. They had 3 players in the top 5, and they played outstanding all season long. I look at this team to get Jalen Waddle back. He's going to practice this week. That's going to be another dimension added to their offense. And here's something in the big picture. Look for the tight ends in this game. For some reason, when Alabama plays in a national championship game, they don't use their tight ends in the playoffs and at the end of the season. For some reason, in the big game, they use their tight ends a little bit more. So watch the tight ends in this football game. I like the way they're playing on offense, and their defense is really picking it up. They only gave up 3.7 yards to Notre Dame, Coach.
Well, you look at Alabama, their offense is absolutely outstanding and unstoppable. And even if you had Waddle, wow, what a problem that is for the defense. But let's remember this. Sarkisian, is his heart at Alabama or is it the University of Texas? Every time a coach takes another job, Mark, it has a profound effect on your team. Bama is an outstanding football team. We understand that. But they got beat on the line of scrimmage by Notre Dame on both sides. Bama's secondary is somewhat questionable. Their talent is outstanding. As you mentioned, 3 people in the Heisman, and to have Devontae Smith win it. But, Mark, nobody that wins the Heisman ever plays particularly well in the bowl game. That's history. Alabama's great on third down. But let's look at some things about Ohio State that might be overlooked. Number one, Justin Fields is hot and cold. If he's hot, he's as good as anybody in the country. And Sermon is really doing a tremendous job at running back. And when you look at the fact, Ohio State against a vaunted Clemson defense had 639 yards. And they held Clemson to 2 yards per rush. So they do an awful lot of good things. OSU recruiting's been in the top 5, right along with Alabama for the past 5 years. So they have great talent. They have an outstanding defensive line coach in Greg Madison. And both teams are in the top 4 in turnovers. Pass defense in Ohio State is very, very questionable. Yeah. I want to tell you the key to this football game, Mark, is Ohio State cannot let them run after they catch. I have no idea why people do not corral the ball on Alabama. Yeah, they got a lot of yards passing, but most of it is run after the catch. They try to play man-to-man. They can't run with the receivers. They aren't fast enough, and they don't corral the ball. Had Notre Dame done that, they would be talking about Notre Dame versus Ohio State.
And that's the strength of the Alabama offense. Not only Najee Harris running the ball, but those great wide receivers on the outside. And that's got to be the tough thing for Ohio State. Can they stop them? They haven't been able to do it all season long. And you're right. Trey Sermon's been on fire. 524 yards in his last 2 games. That's more yards than he had at Oklahoma, most likely. And if you look at a quarterback, Justin Fields probably played his career game. And the reason why this team played their best, their offensive line was phenomenal, I think was because all season long in the locker room, on the practice field, in the training table, they had to score 29-23 Clemson because they thought they should win the game and they got jobbed out of that game. I think they left it on the field of Clemson. They played their best ball. I don't know if they're going to be able to back it up against Alabama. It's going to be one of those games that I think Alabama's going to take control in the second half, and it's not going to be close. My pick in this game, the Alabama Crimson Tide. If I didn't, my brother would disown me, first and foremost, because he's a Bama fan. And Alabama's going to win this game 45-31.
If you remember, Mark, last week I picked Ohio State to beat Clemson. That's right. Yeah. I picked them to beat Clemson.
You're right.
And I'm also picking them to beat Alabama 34-27 because I think they are going to corral the football. They have very good talent. They haven't played well on pass defense, not because of a lack of speed and quickness. But I think if they corral the ball, they win. And Justin Fields is an outstanding quarterback. You know, I've been on his bandwagon for a couple of years. Yeah, he had 2 bad games. But the game he had against Clemson is typical, be the one he'll have against Alabama as well. Ohio State, 34, Alabama, 27.
We will see on Monday night.
We will see.